Today's reading is from Genesis chapter 3, verse 13, and it says, "What is this that you have done?" You talk about your definitive moments in history. Recorded in today's reading is the day that sin entered into the world, and it changed the course of humanity for all of eternity. God had created this perfect environment for them to live in. There were fruit-bearing trees. There was no sickness or disease, no evil. You talk about your total paradise. They were allowed to enjoy everything in the garden except for one tree. That's it. And isn't it like human nature? That's the only thing that they go for. If you put a child in a room and you tell them that they can play with any toy they want, but they can't touch anything in one specific drawer, where's the first place they go to? When you leave the room, you guessed it, they go to that forbidden drawer. Adam blames Eve, and Eve blames the snake, and no one wants to take responsibility for their actions. And there's plenty of blame to go around. Our human nature always wants to push the boundaries, but all we have to do is live within the laws and guidelines that God gives us. And so don't fight His laws, but obey them. I remember when my little girl was just a toddler and she was learning how to crawl. And we had all these toys in the basement and all these child-friendly toys that she wouldn't get hurt with and all this kind of stuff. And we had this VCR in the room. And we told her, play with these toys, but don't touch the VCR. And we would leave the room. What's the first thing she would do? She would crawl right over to the VCR. We'd pick her up. We'd put her back. She'd crawl back to the VCR. My son had a favorite drawer. And same thing. We had toys everywhere. And we said, play with these toys, but don't touch that drawer. There's stuff in there that you can't have. And human nature, what does a child do? They go for that forbidden drawer, just like Adam and Eve. And so we have to understand, why does God put these laws in place? Does he put them there to torture us and say, oh, look at all these really nice things that you can't touch? No. He puts them there for a purpose. He puts them there for a reason. He made us. He knows what's best for us. And if we follow His guidelines and we follow His laws, we'll live a life of righteousness that's pleasing to God.